Welcome to LAW 103.9 FM, and we are on the power corridor today, the 17th day of August 2022, 17/08/2022. Today's Nigerian proverb goes thus: the child of an elephant can never be a dwarf. The Yoruba proverb, ìjọ́ tá ti bí ọmọ erin ló ti ju ọmọ ewúrẹ́ lọ. From the very day that the elephant has given birth to his child, that day it's been bigger and the child of a she-goat. That's the proverb today. The summary analysis of some news headlines in today's newspapers are as follows. Wike can't put PDP at risk, says Ologbondiyan, the immediate past spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party. Ologbondiyan has conceitedly stated that Wike can't put PDP at risk. I would want to let PDP chieftains and party managers know that sometimes it is just better to find a way of managing your crises away from the public glare, because one of the reasons why political parties don't win elections, one of the reasons, and I'm not saying it may work against PDP on this occasion, but one of the reasons why political parties don't win elections is when you allow your controversies to be in the public glare. I think it's about time a strategy or stratagem is found to manage Wike and get PDP out of this lingering and avoidable controversy. Just my one kobo advice. Pope comment: you are forgiven. Catholic Church tells Lalong. Pope comment: you are forgiven. Catholic Church tells Lalong. The leaders of the Catholic movement have to be really, really discreet in the way they may be pulled into the fray in the 2023 general elections. Lalong, whilst he was accepting the DGship of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, said that as a Knight of St. Gregory's of the Catholic Church, that he was in an order where the Pope communicates with people who hold such titles, and that he had not been contacted by the Pope, that what he had accepted to do was against the Catholic doctrine or against the Catholic Church. That became a piece of news for the Nigerian media, and I don't blame the media. Copies have to be sold, and controversies have to be made out of things that will be seemingly innocuous. But the Catholic leadership of Nigeria must try its best possible to stand away from the controversy. They should not be pulled into it, because some are also thinking that because of the emergence of the third force, the Catholic may be a bit biased. They need to be careful because the church will outlast this election cycle, and institutions such as the church or the mosque, or indeed traditional institutions, indeed political analysts, as I tell people in the trade, if you really want to be consistently relevant, you must abstain from taking sides, partisan sides in this in on matters of politics. Tinubu in closed door meeting with Obasanjo. At last, the two okay, let me don't let me use that word that's coming to just about coming on my tongue. Eventually, the two met today. Tinubu was reported to have flown to Abeokuta in his helicopter at about 1 p.m. today, was driven to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. They conclaved for a while. We will get to know the details of what went on there. Lastly, for today's episode, in the abridged news analysis, is the fact that the federal government ASU talk yesterday was reportedly deadlocked. The federal government ASU talk yesterday was reportedly deadlocked. However, news is leaking out today that they may have resumed the meeting, and that one of the most contentious issues, the issue of IPs UTAS, the payment software that ASU has obstinately refused to be part of, that is the IPs, which was imported into Nigeria and for which Nigeria pays for every staff member of the Nigerian Public Service paid through that software. ASU has refused to be on it because they say it is inconsistent with the peculiar personnel management scenario of the university environment. And they went into their ranks, got some of their professionals to write an alternative software called UTAS, University Transparency and Accountability System software. And it does seem from the news leaking now, which is positive, that the federal government may have accepted the usage of UTAS instead of IPs in the management of universities. That is positive news that we may be going in the direction of ultimate concurrence or agreement with a view to letting the students resume schooling. Parents and students are distraught because of this lingering, seemingly egotistic warfare. We go on a short commercial break, and I do the historical background before I introduce our guest for today. Thank you.
When you listen to these stations, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. You know, different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are LAW FM103.9.
There are no regional electricity boards.
Every individual
should know about the law and their rights. Because the law affects every aspect of daily living,
irrespective of age or status.
LAW FM 103.9 ensures you get to hear the law, talk the law, and know your rights like never before. I am Khadija Okunulamidi. Keep listening to LAW FM.
This is Nigeria's number one law radio station. 103.9.
In Africa, actually, Nigeria.
Welcome back to Power Corridor. The guest today has been often described as political strategist. He has phenomenally led about 3 or 4 gubernatorial campaigns, successful gubernatorial campaigns in Lagos. I know he was one of the strategists too who helped in articulating the successful gubernatorial campaign of Governor Fayemi the first time and indeed the second time. But before we formally introduce him, let's do a backgrounder or just read a backgrounder that may give a hint about who our guest is today. And we go into the political history of Lagos from the early 20th century. We will be talking about we will be reading the historical perspective of Lagos from the dimension of the late Prince Abibu Ajao Oki, the first Balogun of Lagos, whose office was created, the Balogun of Lagos, in 1919 to 1935. Prince Abibu Oki was born in Lagos in December 1850. According to history, Prince Abibu Oki's father, Prince Brahmo Ajao Oki, was born into the Shokun royal family and the Onile Gbale chieftaincy family, both in Lagos. His father was one of the prominent followers of King Kosoko, who was dethroned after the naval bombardment of Lagos in 1851. In his journey into exile in Wida, Ejuni, and Ekpe, the Kosoko entourage formed the nucleus of what is now known and identified as Ekpe Eko. Up to this day, the area of Ekpe, occupied and dominated by the descendants of Prince Buraimo Ajao Oki, is known as Isale Ajao. Prince Abibu Ajao Oki was a foundation member of the Ansarudeen Society of Nigeria and became patron sorry. Sorry, somebody is stubbornly calling into the handheld contraption from which I'm reading. Now, years, Abibu Ajao Oki was a foundation member of the Ansarudeen Society of Nigeria and became patron of the society. To show loyalty to the patron, the song, which was composed by the legendary late crooner Abibu Oluwa, which was later recomposed by late Lefty Salami Balogun of blessed memory, Okinawo Onawo Yo Ansarudeen ló sọ ayé Èkó dẹ̀rọ̀. Because you must remember that the Ansarudeen movement, under the leadership of Oki, started one of the most prominent schools of the 20th century, one of the most prominent secondary schools of the 20th century in the then Lagos. Through extensive trading, Prince Abibu Oki came into magnificent affluence and soon earned the nickname Prince Merchant. He traded with foreign firms from Britain, Germany, and other metropolitan countries. The well-known Damask Fabric, Alagba, and Grand Aron Corduroy were first introduced to Nigeria through Prince Abibu Oki's mercantilism. He moved his home from Oluwole Street, Lagos, to Igbeti area of Lagos, then to Port Novo Market Street, now renamed after him as Abibu Oki Street, around 1940. About the time during the reign of Oba Ishugbayi, Lagos socio-political life was dominated by the educated people with wealthy Muslims and Christians. From 1914, Lagos was already split into anti- and pro-colonial government factions over the water rate levy. Pro-government traditional rulers were compensated with increased stipends, while the educated amongst the group were given legislative council's appointment. It's been long, very long, that government has been bribing people with appointments and offices. The pro-government faction, which was led by Mr. later Sir as the first Nigerian to be knighted, Kitoye Ajasa, who used his weekly newspaper, the Nigerian Pioneer, to propagate the colonial government's policy. He was one of the founders of the very first political party in Nigeria, the People's Union, founded in 1908 by Dr. J.K. Randall. As its chairman, were opposed to the government water rate. On Dr. Randall's side were party's Secretary Dr. Orishadipe Obasa and Dr. Akiwande Savage, the first Nigerian officer, or indeed African officer of the British Army, who later came into private practice in Lagos. But charges of sedition and pressure from the colonial government forced a change of direction by the vocal members of the People's Union. The People's Union supporters, led by Imam Ibrahim Ali Oloko and others, were later joined by, cut long story short, our guest today is one of the princes of the Oki lineage of Lagos. He is a prominent politician, fondly called a strategist. Fouad Alade Oki. Fouad Alade Oki the number to call, in case you want to call into the program, the number to call is 070-322-773388, 0703-22773338, or 090-9555-1039, 090-9555-1039. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother. How did you get the history of the Abibu Oki families.
I want to
How did you get the history about Brimo Ajao? How do you get those stories? Because we try to keep our history very, very jealously. We are a family that dwell in just wanting to be private. But I think I have found myself in a situation where you have taken off the hood from the family's lineage.
Okay, I'm a researcher, I'm a journalist, a researcher, a broadcaster, and I must give background to my audience, and it's imperative that I do it so intellectually well enough to engage the public and engage people like you. It's a pleasure having you on the program.
I have been guests to several media outfits, several discourse, and this is the first time in my over 3.5 decades.
You are on a peculiar network called LAW 103.9 FM, and about when you are on LAW FM,
I think you have just won a convert, and I tell you what, not just a convert, but someone who will also influence that. If I don't know where you're going yet, but for what you have done in the last 10-15 minutes, I think this station should be where to be.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's quickly get into it. Our audience are usually very, they are very jealous. They want to be part of the program, and we need to lay the background for the next 10 minutes and allow our audience, the listeners, to go in the direction that they may want to engage you on. You have been severally tagged as strategist. Some have called you the stormy petrol of Lagos politics. Some who loathe you think you are a fundamental political mercantilist who every 4 years will find the stratagem to make Bola Tinubu come and knock on your doors and beg you to be in his camp. What say you to this?
Well, let me quickly make a correction. I accept to be everything that you have said, except that I am not and can never be a mercantilist. Never. Will not. I see politics first and foremost as a community service. By my antecedents, by my background, by my
pedigree,
lineage and pedigree, politics is inborn. It is in the DNA. If you are truly, a chip of the Shokun and not Shokun, is Shokun. And maybe some other day we'll go into that. But you will know of one song by KSA when he was singing the late Oba of Ijesha land, Owa Obukun Adimulam, where he said, Owa ni wale ni oye ikon, aipolowo adi, aipolowo epo ni Shokun, apolowo adi. Ishokun quarters, it's a very known quarters in Ijesha land. And that will also tell you the relationship between the Lagos royalty and the Ijesha loyalty. It's another thing. So it is my progenitor from the Lagos royal house.
Okay.
Shokun. Shokun Agona Ogun. Ọmọ àfijù erelu tó fọmọ ẹ̀ méjì jọba níjọ́ kan. Ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó jẹ̀lẹ̀ lọ ní Dùmàgbò.
Okay.
So when you look at Shokun, and you look at his offshoots, including Brimo Oki, who begets Abibu Oki, Brimo was not a follower to King Kosoko Pamupamu Jigi Jigi Okoye. They were cousins. And he believed in what Kosoko was fighting for.
He believed in slave trade.
Yes. So when you look at that,
so your forebears were slave traders who profited mightily from it. You telling me?
Well, it depends on how you are looking at it. It depends.
But that was the trade of the time. Anyway, you don't have to be guilty about that, because like Lord Dennis once said, you shouldn't be looking with tinted roses at the past.
Absolutely.
The past was the past.
Yeah. So he transferred the same thing to his son Abibu Oki. Abibu Oki led the first revolt against the then colonial government. And mind you, in Lagos,
on the water rate,
we never had colonial masters. Rather, we have colonial government. He stood up by saying we will not pay water rate in the colony of Lagos, because in the first instance, we were not consulted, we were not invited. And you will not just commission EG Water Works, reticulate the water works to the colony of Lagos and ask us to pay water rate. And for your information, this took like 10 years. The then Elekwobe Shuba, he was also suspended. That's where you have the polo and the rest of it. It will interest you to note, Gbola, that John Boro Albert Ilas was not the secretary to Ilu Committee. Rather, he was recorder. He was just coming out of prison, unknown to a lot of people. He was a land surveyor.
He was a land surveyor convicted for abusing.
He had issues with his client. He was convicted. He was just coming out of prisons when he was recruited by the then Lagos elites who want to stand up against the colonial master.
And that was his political rehabilitation, through which he launched the Nigerian National Democratic Party,
Absolutely. He benefited from our Babawa.
Translate that in English for many of our listeners who can't understand you.
Do that. You know I'm from the village.
Okay, I know. So sophisticated that you studied in America. Your village must be a very big village, bigger than my own Mushi, bigger than the Mushi where I was born.
It's your choice, but
his grandfather was the leader of the Lu committee that stood vehemently.
The founder and the president
of the Lu committee that stood vehemently against the colonial government imposing water rate on Lagosians, and
indeed that was the commencement of political activism.
Of the nationalist movement
in Nigeria.
Of the nationalist movement, for which Albert Ilas Macaulay was the recorder of that committee, and it was through that it was actually the power of that committee that he leveraged to form the Nigerian National Democratic Party, which is recognized historically as. Look, we have crossed the midway line. Let me repeat the telephone numbers for those who want to call in: 070-322-77338, 090-955-1039. Let me slow down. Whenever you are engaging Fouad Alade Oki, you get excited. Let me call it slowly again.
I'm sure, Gbola, we will need to do this. Maybe some 3-4 series if you really want to educate.
I know what you mean. It's a very packed
political evolution and development.
It's a very packed, but we have what we have today, and we will maximize what we have today. 070 are the calls coming in. Pick the call. Pick the call. Let's just. Hello, caller.
It's Gbola Oba, this is Obi calling from Ikeja.
Hello, Obi. We'll be very fast today.
My revenge of Igbo land.
I don't know the meaning, but I know.
It's a title to given to the greatest people.
Oh, thank you, sir.
That particular community.
Thank you very much.
I'm so excited that I can hear your voice again in a program.
Oh, thank you.
You are so intelligent that this program is so technical. We need to sit and listen before we can make a lot of inputs.
Fantastic. Thank you, my brother. The number again is 070-322-77338, 070-322-77338, 090-9555-1039, 090-955-1039. Hello, Omaki, are you still there?
I am here.
You are here?
Yeah.
You are there. Now,
very much.
Let me quickly push you from the 20th century to the 21st century now. News reaching me and my research told me that you were instrumental to the sharpening of the political teeth of Jandor. As it is, Jandor, who was nursed politically by you within the APC family, crossed over to the PDP family to end the PDP's gubernatorial ticket. And you, who had for a while given the impression that you were not going to work on the side of Bola Ahmed Tinubu again, you are now one of the principal strategist again in his camp. What say ye to all those allegations?
God bless you. And let me first thank you for this question. Olajide Adediran is my brother.
Like he's my brother too?
Yes, in whom I am pleased with. And he told me a few years ago that he would want me to join with him in his philanthropy, which was the Jandor Foundation, which later metamorphosed into
Jandor movement,
political outfit. And I was there. When he told me he was transmitting into Political Action Committee, I told him to go ahead, and I was there for him, guiding him, giving my counsel. Until when he called me that he believed that staying in our party will not get him to where he wants to be, that he would like to run for the governorship of Lagos. And he has decided to seek his aspirations somewhere else. And I told him he has my blessings. He has my blessings because at that point in time, and as it is today, I have never been known, to jump ship. That I'm a progressive, I'm in this party, I am a part of its foundation.
I need to accentuate that you have always been consistent as a member of the AD, AC, ACN, APC. However, sometimes you act like the stubborn boy of the house. Some call you Stormy Petrol.
I am an infant terrible, and I'll come to that very shortly.
You are even taking the phrases from my mouth. You are even.
Well, I just confirmed that. That listen, I am in touch. I am fighting an injustice with the party, and I will stay in this party to see that justice is done. And as I speak with you, I'm still in court. Now that's for another day. Now asking about me reneging on what we talked about at our usual rendezvous in front of my house. You got it wrong. You must note one thing. That I am cheated, I am seeking redress. It is also because that party that has cheated me also have governments. And you must know that. So therefore, I want to get justice. I want to see that justice is done. It will not be outside of that party, number one. Number two, the party will be going through election. It is more important to me than the beneficiary who is the candidate. Because you must also understand something very clearly. It is the party that will be voted for. The candidate is a beneficiary of that, vote.
Okay, let me quickly interject.
No. I'm rounding up in less than 30 seconds. Now, I went for the National Convention as a matter of right and merit, and nothing otherwise. As I speak to you, I am neither a member of any campaign organization as I speak with you. Okay. Rather, I'm doing everything I need to do to see that our party wins the next election.
Okay, let me quickly interject this. Let me quickly interject this.
Just yesterday, I was invited to deliver a paper on party discipline by the Lagos State chapter of the APC that I am in court with. Of course, I was there. I delivered the paper because it's about a larger picture.
Okay. Let me quickly interject this and let some of our listeners are calling. We have to also allow them to ask you questions. But in the backdrop of what you stated now, there seems to be contradictions in terms. There seems to be some contradictions in terms. On the one hand, you are litigating with the party. On the other hand, you vociferously for more than 3 years kept saying you weren't going to do anything with Bola Ahmed Tinubu anymore. Indeed, a common friend of ours, a common friend of you and I, who just passed into glory, Lobito Disco, in the backdrop of the conversation we had the other night, when he sent me a picture before, less than 2 weeks before he passed, he sent me a picture of you standing beside Governor Sanwo-Olu wearing Sanwo-Olu 2023 cap. Now,
no, that is not correct. That is not correct.
He sent me I have the picture.
Let me quickly.
But I have the picture. Are you saying that picture?
Let me quickly explain that to you. We were at the convention. Team Lagos to the convention were all given that cap.
And you gladly donned it.
Yes, and because I was also elected or nominated or appointed by 59 other delegates to that convention from Lagos as the team lead. And I'm sure if you are in my position, you will.
Okay, let's take some of the calls. The numbers to call again. Sorry for those who have called and we couldn't pick. Fouad Oki is a very domineering character, but sometimes
that's not true.
Okay, we'll take this call. Caller, thank you for calling. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
You are owing me card. You just pick my call. You are not talking. This is
Alabalakwe. Sorry about that. The line has been choking.
Yeah, very quickly, I greet Alhaji Fouad Oki. I greet him and I salute him. I just want to ask him some few questions.
Quickly go about it.
Yeah, concerning his history, is there any way related to Awori? So, and again, what is it doing about the youth of the core indigenous of Lagos State? What is it doing about it? Is there any way that is using his own means to carry them along in most of the
Alabalakwe, thank you very much. Other calls are coming in, but in the backdrop of Alabalakwe's question, you must remember that one of the reasons why I was amenable to giving you an Jandor placements in my training institutes for scholarship to train young Lagosians was because I believed you people were doing it then for the good of Lagos youths. Another call in. Let's take this call too, and we can take about 2 or 3 calls before you answer the callers.
Good evening, Mr. Gbola Oba.
Good evening. Your name, sir?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Where are you calling from and your name, please?
This is Mr. Olumide from Idesha in Surulere.
Fantastic.
I want to greet our daddy.
Okay.
Well done, sir. Now, I want to ask a quick question, sir. Is there any relationship between him, our presidential candidate in APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and the man, Jando? What is the relationship between the three of them, or the two of them, sir? Is there anything that is tying them together? Which camp is he exactly now? Who is he with now?
We will answer that. We will answer that because we may have another call. Now, okay, another call. Let's pick the third call. Okay. Let's let you respond to the two callers' questions or inquiries, and before we take another call.
Go ahead.
Fouad, did you hear the two callers?
Please do.
I
did not hear them, but you can,
repeat. Okay.
Tell me exactly.
The first caller, Alaba Alakpe, asked if your Oki has any Awori connection, and what exactly are you doing for the skills and enterprise empowerment of young Lagosians? The second caller from Ijesha, whose name, Secretary, give me the name. Sorry, I'm getting old. Yeah, the second caller I know called from Ijesha. He wanted to know, he called you Babawa, so he must be one of your admirers. He wanted to know what exactly is your relationship now with Gbola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC presidential candidate, and in what stance are you two with Jando? Your floor.
Thank you very much. I will start with Mr. Alakpe.
Yes.
If you are from the Lagos Royal House, you will have in your blood running or in your vein some elements or some degree of the
Awori stock.
From another side of me in Isaleko, which is the Swen royal family, I'm sure you will know that we are the land owners of a place called Akpak, which has a very, very long history of over 800 years. So I'm also of the Alakpa royal family in Akpak Kingdom in Badagry, which is also called Akpa-Begumafo, to show the Awori in us about technical and vocational education. Bola, I think you should answer that for me, because you know what we are trying to do and what we are doing together.
I said it that in the two vocational training institutes, one of which I'm the visionary and co-founder, another one of which I'm a co-founder, I know that you are one of the major people who channel Lagos youths to come and be empowered in those training institutes.
So that answers that. About the second gentleman who wants to know my relationship with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, let me say this here. Even when all of you are saying Fouad and Asiwaju Nja, I look at you and just laugh. And the reason I laugh is this: I took the party to court to seek redress. It is all of you that turned it to Fouad in Asiwaju because you've made an emperor out of the man. And I
Egbomi, you are too smart. You are too smart. You are playing the Lagos intelligence card on me, idiot.
I'm not. I will lie.
You are too smart, and that is a polite backhander to somebody I love.
Allow me to answer the question.
Oh yeah, answer the question, but you can't be gaming me too when once you are answering the question.
That is my position. Now, the man is our party flag bearer. I have a responsibility, and I don't care how people feel about it, in ensuring that the party wins. I said earlier that the candidate is raising his campaign team. As I speak with you, I've not been invited. I'm not sure I'll be
But I've seen you on national TV campaigning for him, even when he was seeking the presidential candidature of the party
Maybe you need to show me that picture.
The following morning at Eagle Square, a national TV station that I don't want to mention, you were the first interview. You were the first interviewee, and you spoke vehemently in favor of his candidature. So
just a minute, I was asked a question.
I don't think both you and Bonnie were Pani.
How did I vote? And I told Chamberlain that look at my dress. My dress will tell you my vote. That was my response.
Okay. Let me give you another question. We can't let this thing drag. People are calling in. Let me read a tweet to you. My own question to Fouad Oki is: does he consider the health of who wants to become the president of Nigeria more importantly, because the nation itself is sick? Nigeria needs someone that is physically fit, mentally balanced, and wellness. Hashtag Power Corridor. Hashtag Law on the Radio FM.
About 28 years ago, I started a movement, a political movement, which is called the right to choose. We used that against Abacha in company with my father, Alhaji MD Yusuf, who then was a standard flag bearer in GDM. And I still have the group today. Gbola, you are a member of the right to choose. And essentially, my position is this: please go out to vote. Vote your conscience. I'm not in a position to tell you whether to vote A or B. Vote your conscience. Nobody born of a woman will tell me who to vote. So it is for you to look at the candidate and decide which of the candidates will meet your aspiration.
But let me ask this direct question before I take calls.
I go further to say, in the event that you do not wish to vote any of those parties, please go out to vote and void your vote. Your voided votes will be counted.
Okay, let me also quickly ask this question before the calls that are coming in. If you were to be chosen as a member of the Presidential Campaign Council of your party, you have dribbled me so much that I was nearly singing but if you were to be chosen today as a member of Presidential Council, we are showing our backgrounds as you know where we are coming from. Would you function as a campaign member of the APC Presidential Council?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you, there are two outfits to every campaign election. There is the party leg and there is the candidate leg. What the party is trying to do now is to have just one leg. And hence, the party is working with the candidate, requesting from the candidates to nominate people into the campaign council. If the invitation comes, yes.
But you and I know that they will rather use you in Lagos because Lagos is your customer.
I don't know. Also,
they will rather.
In 2019,
I'm not saying.
I was posted to Ibadan to coordinate and to pretend over the Southwest.
But you and I know that in the last 3 or 4 gubernatorial campaigns in Lagos, they have always found a way of incorporating you into the machinery that has delivered the governors. Am I wrong?
It is more.
Am I wrong? a straight question. I'm the judge here. Let me control my court.
It is more out of merit than any other thing.
I never said it's not out of merit. I'm just saying that
it is more out of merit.
How would you feel? Okay, let me get cynical now. How would you feel if somebody once told me, that's your Egbon and Jimmy Agbaje, they are the two four-yearly come and shop politicians of Lagos. That with
I take it in my stride.
You take it in your stride.
An opinion.
Your skin is thick enough to take it.
No, it is an opinion.
Okay.
That, but you know where I live, and if I have been a come and shop politician, I'm sure I will not be living there, and you know that for a fact.
The number to call for the last set of calls 070-322-77338 070-322-77338 or 090-9555-1039. Oh yeah, pick the call, please.
Bola, you know where I live, and if I am a 4-year political contractor.
Don't worry, you have answered that. Let's get our caller. We have callers on the line. We have callers for you. You are so interesting. They want to engage you. A caller.
The question.
Okay, this one is Mr. Fouad Oki must be wearing jersey number 10 back in the days as a football player. I was
a goalkeeper.
I don't see his sincerity in answering Gbola Oba's question. That's another tweet.
It's an opinion.
It's an opinion. Another call. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Oh, sorry, callers, for the many calls that we've not been able to pick. This character is somewhat a boisterous character to engage with. He's assertive, he's firm. Okay, the last call. Hello, caller. Hello. Oh, maybe I hope the network is not playing up. Fouad Alade Oki.
Yes, sir.
Let me read the last. This is WhatsApp. This is WhatsApp. I think somebody is calling on WhatsApp. I don't know the juju you have done, Ogboni. I know you are a proud traditionalist and a proud Ogboni, but
hello.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ekpe.
And your name, sir?
My name is Mike.
Mike, your question for our guest?
I just want to appreciate your guest. In fact, I've learned a lot today.
Thank you very much.
And this is my first time of listening to your radio.
Thank you very much.
I really enjoy myself.
It's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we will be going in the direction we've largely gone today. That's what we do.
Thank you, sir.
Law,
thank you very much.
Thank you. Law 103.9 FM. Law 103.9 FM, the only licensed radio station in Nigeria that is designed to increase the knowledge of the law of the listening public and entertain you. Gbola Oba is my name. Guest today. Okay, before I let you go, my brother, let me read this one. #afternoon, Mr. Gbola Oba. Good evening, sir. Please let us have your WhatsApp number or social media handle so we can discuss more with you. Mr. Keola Olumide from Ijesha. Okay, this is not the question. Fouad Alade Oki.
Sir.
Thank you very much. You are always a journalist piece of good news to engage with, especially a journalist that is worth the title in gold. You have enriched this program today, and we say riches and goodness follow you. Thank you.
Thank you, but let me quickly say this. I have said to myself that I'm not going to do any press interview before the commencement of campaign. But Bola, for you, any day, anytime.
Thank you very much, Ebomi. Thank you
for having me.
I don't take that privilege lightly, and it's been worth every nanosecond of it. I hope our listening public has been edified. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
The program was produced or managed by Waire Ofigo, my own big madam, sitting in a majestic controllership of the program. I am Gbola Oba, and this is Power Corridor signing off now on LAW 103.9 FM, the unique radio station dedicated to increasing the knowledge of the law of the listening public and entertaining you. Thank you.